24/7 Sports just released its full first list of the top 247 players from the class of 2021, and checking in at number 1 is Eastside Catholic's 5-star defensive tackle, JT Tuimoloau. He's one of the most special players in the country regardless of class, and was an easy choice for the Max Preps sophomore All-American team last season. And the Pacific Northwest got a bunch of dudes featured in the top 247, 7 from Washington. Check in 2021 Washington commit Sam Heward is the number 1 rated quarterback and has already thrown for 7,500 plus yards and 76 touchdowns through his first 2 years at Kennedy Catholic. The other 5 players include 4-star Emeka Egbuka, the number 1 rated athlete among all rising juniors. Lincoln's 4-star athlete Julien Simon checks in at number 33 overall. Heward's number 1 target Jabez Tane is also ranked in the top 247, and the final 2 include Odea's 4-star offensive guard Owen Prentice and Bethel's 4-star safety Will Latu. There are a bunch of guys in the trenches who check in the top 30 overall. Half of the list includes dudes who make their money inside the tackle box. The top 4 players are either on the offensive or defensive line. The number 2 rated player is 2021 Ohio State commit Jack Sawyer. The top rated guy from Texas checks in at number 3, and it is one of 3 5-stars, Tommy Brockermeyer. And Booker T. Washington's big-time defensive end Donnell Harris Jr. is the top rated player from Florida. The 2021 Miami commit had over 20 sacks during his sophomore season. The other players in the top 30 include Dudley's 4-star defensive tackle Peyton Page, 2021 Florida commit Bryce Langston, Corona Centennial's 4-star defensive end Corey Foreman, who checks in as the number 2 player overall from California. SAWYER's loaded with talent, and one of its top dudes is 4-star Quintin Somerville, who is the number 1 rated prospect from Arizona in 2021. Amarius Mims, Ben Chrisman, Savion Bird, Dylan Brooks, Landon Tengwall, Garrett Dellinger, and Nolan Rucci round out the guys in the trenches ranked in the top 30. Out of the top 247, 23 are quarterbacks. Joining Sam Heward includes Nazareth Academy's 4-star J.J. McCarthy, who threw for nearly 3,500 yards and 37 touchdowns, while leading his team to the Illinois 7A state championship. McCarthy was named to the Max Prep sophomore All-American second team, and all 6 quarterbacks that were selected on the first or second team are in the top 247. The sophomore of the year was North Shore's 4-star Demetrius Davis Jr., and he led the Mustangs to a perfect season in 2018 and a 6A Division I UIL Texas state title. Davis had nearly 4,000 yards of total offense and 49 touchdowns while leading North Shore to the number 1 spot in the final Excellent 25 rankings. Gonzaga's Caleb Williams cracks the list too. He was named a first-teamer last season after leading the DC Power to the WCAC championship. Williams checks in as the number 2 dual-threat QB in 2021, and Davis sits at number 4. And I'm telling you now, don't sleep on St. Joseph's Preps Kyle McCord. This dude can sling it with the best of them and will have a good chance to be a top 10 player overall. And the top-rated dual-threat QB is another baller from Texas, Preston Stone, and his tape is as entertaining as any other player. He had over 4,000 yards of total offense and 53 touchdowns as a sophomore. Some other notable quarterbacks include Narbonne's 4-star Jake Garcia. He will have a chance to end his high school career as a top-rated gunslinger when it's all said and done. And watch out for Narbonne next year too. They're loaded with talent. Brock Vandegrift, 2021 Notre Dame commit Tyler Buckner, Bishop Almany's 4-star gunslinger Miller Moss, McEachern's Carlos Del Rio, Denton Geyer's Eli Stover, Mentors Ian Kipp, and Taylorsville's Ty Keys are some of the other notable quarterbacks to be featured in the top 247. The 3 big states, Texas, California, and Florida, have nearly 100 of the top 247 spots. Some notable dudes from the Lone Star State include the top running back Kamar Wheaton, Duncanville's new 4-star linebacker Kendrick Blackshear, who balled out during his sophomore season at Mesquite Horn. The offensive line and D-line are absolutely loaded. On the O-line, you got Donovan Jackson, Ruben Fothery, a couple of dudes from Katy Taylor, Hayden Connor, and Bryce Foster. And on the D-line, you got a couple of ballers from Pleasant Grove and Landon Jackson and Marcus Burris. Then you also got 4-stars Jatavion Sanders, Tunmisi Adelaide, and Landon Watson. The Lone Star States also got some big-time players at wide receiver. North Shore's Shadrick Banks is one of the sauciest dudes in the country. Cody Jackson, Quadarius Davis, Bryson Green, KJ Liggins, and Alito's JoJo Early are just some of the notable playmakers from the class of 2021. Texas has the most rated players in the top 247 with 34, and checking in at number 2 is Florida with 32. American Heritage has produced some big-time defensive backs in the past, and you can take it to the bank. 4-star James Williams will join the list when his high school career is over. Williams checks in as the number 1 safety in 2021. The wide receiver position is off the charts in the Sunshine State. Some notable dudes include Armwood's Ajayi Hall, 2021 Florida commit Javante Rucker, Walker, Plant City's 4-star Mario Williams, Booker T. Washington's Ja'Cory Brooks, and running back is another strong position in Florida, led by Miami Central's Amari Daniels, who's going to have a huge junior season back at Miami Central. And you also got Chaminade Madonna's Thad Franklin, a 2021 Miami commit, Tampa Jesuits' Ricky Parks is a baller, and IMG Academy is loaded with some of the best soon-to-be juniors that include 4-star defensive end J.C. Latham, 4-star linebacker Ma'e Naoteote, 2021 Notre Dame commit Greg Crippen, and 4-star offensive guard Weston Franklin are just some of the notable players from IMG featured in the top 247. A few other dudes from Florida include St. Thomas Aquinas' 4-star defensive end Tyreek Sapp. He's one of 5 players from 2021 in the top 247 already committed to Florida. The U is the only other school with more, as the Hurricanes already have 6 dudes committed. California has the 3rd most players represented with 22, and the top rated guy from the Golden State is 4-star wide receiver Troy Franklin. Checking in at number 3 is Mater Dei's 4-star linebacker Rayshawn Davis, and his tape jumps off the charts. He's one of the most versatile and physical players in the country. Mater Dei currently has 3 guys in the top 247, 4-star wide receiver Christian Dixon and 4-star corner Jalen Davies join Davis. Narbonne has 3 dudes also, joining Jake Garcia's 2021 Oregon commit Seven McGee, who is coming back to SoCal after spending his sophomore season in New York, and Anthony Beavers Jr. comes over from Gardena-Serra and will help give Narbonne one of the best secondaries in the country. Some other notable players from California include St. John Bosco's 4-star wide receiver Bo Collins. Expect a monster junior campaign for the 6'4" playmaker. Calvert's and Oaks Christian go together well, and 4-star Ethan might end up being the best of the bunch. He checks in as the number 9 athlete in 2021. Upland's 4-star linebacker Jonathan Flowe is one of the most talented players in the country. Him and his older bro Justin, aka Baby Man, give them one of the best 1-2 punches at linebacker in high school football. Mission Viejo has a couple of players from 2021 featured in 4-star quarterback Peter Costelli and 4-star wideout Maven Anderson. Corona Centennial's Brendan Alvarez is another name to keep tabs on. He's one of the most underrated playmakers in the country. He checks in at number 22 in the state, but trust me, he will shoot up the rankings during his junior season. And JSerra Catholic's 4-star linebacker Jaden Genova gives the Trinity League 5 players featured in the top 247. Also had to mention my guy DJ Harvey, the 4-star athlete from Sierra Canyon, was named a sophomore All-American after having nearly 1,000 yards receiving and a team-high 7 interceptions in 2018. Some other notable players featured in the top 247 include St. Joseph's Prep's 4-star wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. Him and McCord are one of the best duos in the country, and expect the Philly Power to be ranked in the top 10 to start the 2019 season. Bluefield's Isaiah Johnson checks in as the top corner in 2021, and 2 spots under him at number 7 overall is Pinson Valley's JaQuincy McKinstry. The top-rated player from Louisiana is Zachary's 4-star wide receiver Chris Hilton, who is the number 15 overall prospect. Princess Anne's 4-star corner Tony Grimes is the top-rated player from Virginia and checks in as a number 3 corner overall. DMV Power St. Francis Academy will be ranked in the top 5 to start next year, and they're loaded with talent, and they have 2 guys featured in the top 247 in 2021. Virginia Tech commit Aaron Willis and 4-star corner Clinton Burton Jr. The state of Michigan is loaded too. They are tied with California with 22 players featured in the top 247, and some notable names include a couple of guys from Clarkston who check in at 1 and 2 in the state, Garrett Dillinger and Rocco Splendor, and Bellevue's 4-star offensive guard Damon Payne checks in at number 3 in all of Michigan. A couple running backs include Hewitt Trussville's 4-star Amani Goodwin. He has been selected to the freshman and sophomore All-American teams in back-to-back years. Will Shipley checks in as a number 1 rated all-purpose back and is one of the best prospects overall from North Carolina. Orem's 4-star offensive tackle Kingsley Suamatia checks in as the number 1 player from Utah and will have a chance to go down as the best offensive lineman from a loaded 2021 class. 2021 Florida commit Terrence Lewis helped lead Northwestern to its 2nd consecutive Florida 6A state championship in 2018, and expect another monster junior season for the 4-star linebacker. Yanni Karlofitz had a monster sophomore season, racking up over 100 tackles as him and his older brother George helped lead West Lafayette to an undefeated season in 2018 and a 3A Indiana state championship. And I'm gonna end it with the dude from the 808. St. Louis has produced some big-time defensive players, and a name to keep tabs on is Mason Tufaga. He will join the likes of Fatui Tuatelli and Jordan Botello as straight savages from St. Louis High School. And I know I missed a lot of names, but just go to 247sports.com for a complete list of the top 247 rankings that were released on April 9th.